Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have much in the way of questions. We've seen this legislation before, but I want to thank my friend from Virginia for bringing it because I think it's exceptionally important. My friend from Georgia, I don't dispute some of your statistics, but we have had the slowest economic recovery from a major recession in modern American history. And I think regulation has been an enormous part of that. And indeed, it's interesting to me to listen to the CEO of Ford, I believe, yesterday mentioned that one of his reasons for investing $700 million here and creating 700 new jobs in Michigan was his anticipation that there would be a new regulatory approach from the incoming administration, as well as hopefully a more favorable tax environment. And I think you can see the market reacting to this, frankly, since the election. So we'll see whether or not that holds, but I think it's a very encouraging first sign. And you know, I can't speak for other members here. All I can say is I hear more from the business people that I represent about over-regulation than I do about anything else, more than about taxation, for sure. And you know, so I think this is a problem. I think it's also a problem for our constituents because it's pretty hard to know who the Deputy Secretary at the EPA is or at the Labor Department. They know who their members are. And I think making members accountable for these regulations of this significance, where literally voters can see, you know, put your fingerprints on it if you think it's a great idea, you know, that gives them a chance to register their concerns. And you know, what gets lost now is the sheer number of regulations as compared to legislation that impact businesses often far more dramatically than the legislation we pass. You know, is not only frustrating, but if you don't know who to hold to account. And I would you know, mention the overtime rule that the administration was bringing forward. And we saw a survey recently. Number one, 49% of small businesses didn't even know it was coming, had no earthly idea that this was getting ready to impact them. You know, again, as they learned about it, again, I started getting calls from small business people in my district over and over again about, I'm going to have to lay off people from nonprofits. We can't possibly do this sort of massive change. And indeed, I think the NFIB actually took the administration to court in terms of trying to delay the implementation because it was so unfair. You know, and if you don't think regulation matters, just go talk to coal miners any place in Appalachia and ask them what's happened to their living standards in recent years. Look at the unemployment rates in those counties. So this is a really needed piece of legislation, a very appropriate piece, and I think something that if we can move it through the process, as my friend the chairman noted, will be welcomed enthusiastically by the incoming president. He's made it very clear this is something he wants to see happen, something he would be very enthusiastic about signing. So, again, I applaud my friend for bringing it forward and yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the gentleman's